Hi everybody and happy Thanksgiving. This is Rick the Barkeep and I want to introduce you guys to a new segment here at the Onyx Tavern, my new vlog series. The reason I'm doing this is one, I have that restriction on my YouTube account that limits me to 15-minute videos. And since my podcasts go pretty long, I decided I want to try this new segment to work into that time limit. And specifically what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to talk about episodes of Power Rangers and Super Sentai that I viewed. What we will be doing today is we're going to start with Megaforce, and by year's end I will do all the Megaforce episodes, and beginning in February we'll go ahead and do Super Megaforce. So within the next 2 years I hope to get all 40 episodes of the Megaforce saga done. And along with that, I'm also planning on doing Tokyo Ranger when it starts in February in Japan. And when I'm done with each of the seasons, I will go ahead and give you, I guess, kind of a general roundup on what I think of the series in general. As you can see, it is a radically different format than the Onyx Tavern, but I do hope you guys enjoy. I did spend a lot of time rearranging everything back here, so I hope you do like that. And I try to give you something new, every time, to see what you guys like and see what sticks. And I hope this is one of those segments that will stick. So, that all being said, let's go into the first episode of Megaforce, Mega Mission. Now, I didn't like Mega Mission at all, and I do think it's a pretty bad start to Megaforce. And, here's why. First of all, what the series is obviously trying to do is trying to take all the familiar and popular aspects of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and transplant them here in hopes to, I don't know if they're trying to recapture the magic that they had from the original seasons, or if they're trying to get old fans to come back with the familiarity. But needless to say, it doesn't really work. Of course, a couple of those elements that we have are, say, Ernie's brain freeze, because we had Ernie in the original series, so let's have a new Ernie and a hangout that's not the command center or the high school for the teens. And that's basically all there is to it. This Ernie guy really has no personality. I think he's kind of something of a stereotype. I'm not quite sure about that. But they're just using this location with the name of Ernie, and they put ice cream instead of smoothies in there because nobody drinks smoothies anymore, I think. I don't know. But again, just taking a familiar element, transplanting it here to see if it works. It does not work thus far, at least not for me. Another thing that they're doing is, of course, they have the command center here, and they got their Zordon Alpha for the series, or Gosei and Tensu. Oddly enough, it looks like they are in less of a budget this season than they were in the original Power Rangers. The command center looks much, much smaller than the original. The effect for Tensu is nothing but a head on the wall with some Christmas lights on it. And for some reason, they decided to make Tensu a CG character. I don't know why. I guess it was too much to ask for somebody in a suit or a puppet or something like that. I don't know. But here we are. They're taking aspects of the original series, transplanting them, and we have this character, or these characters, that really are not characters in their own. They're just there for exposition, the purposes Zordon originally filled. Because say what you will about Alpha and Zordon in the original series, after about 3 or so years, they did have their own personalities, and we did go to care for these characters. I feel that just being a face on the wall, we're not going to care for Gosei as much as we would Zordon, and Tensu, I don't know. I'm not so sure about Tensu either. Now let's take a look at the Rangers real quick, and I do have a little write-up that I did, because what's so interesting is why these guys were chosen. And I will go ahead and kind of read you the reasons that Tensu has said, and I'll tell you what I think of each of the characters. Let's go ahead and start with Jake, the Black Ranger. His boundless athleticism enthusiasm is what qualified him to be the Black Ranger. I didn't know that being enthusiastic was a qualification, and I would say you have to be athletic to be a Power Ranger to begin with, and everybody seems pretty athletic, so I don't know what makes his athleticism boundless. Emma, the Pink Ranger. She's a great BMX cyclist and really cares for the environment. Now, I don't know how BMX bike actually qualifies you for being a ranger. Not to mention there are those who get paid professionally to do that, so I wonder why none of the professionals were chosen for this. And further, she truly cares for the environment. Okay, are you going to show us episode? You just don't say that she cares for the environment and not show us. All we've seen her do is take pictures. That's about it. Okay? Gia, which I will say right now, I already hate Gia. I think she's the worst ranger ever, but I will get into that here in a moment. But she is calm under pressure and pursues excellence. Again, I think calm under pressure would have to be a prerequisite for any Power Ranger, but pursuing excellence, that doesn't necessarily mean she's good. She just pursues it. So I'm not so sure what that means either. Noah, thirst for knowledge, because they need scientists in the future, basically. So he's curious. He wants to know more, but is he really smart? Because I know he's supposed to be the analog for Billy right here, but no, not really. And I'll get into that here in a second. And of course, Troy, because he's had adversity in his life, purity of strength, and incredible discipline. Purity and strength, again, that prerequisite for all Rangers. I don't get that. And incredible discipline, again, also need to have that. So it seems to me that Gosei is really full of it. He's just saying things to be saying things. He doesn't really have an actual reason, particularly for the fact that his computer did it for him in a search of less than, 5 minutes. All 6 billion people were looked through, and you only chose these 5. And you don't really have reasons for that. Yeah, I don't like these Rangers beginning with. First of all, Jake is probably the most interesting character of them all, just because he's very fun. He is enthusiastic, as they say, and he's trying to get the girl. And I kind of sympathize with him a little bit, and I think that sympathy makes him my favorite character from the first episode, just because he does have a personality. The others, not really. Emma, she's a blank slate. Troy's kind of a blank slate. And the weird thing about Troy is he seems kind of dumb. He seems clueless more than anything. While I like his line that humans will survive anything, I don't like anything else about him. He is very confusing to me, at least in the first episode. I don't understand anything. And I hope they play into that line about adversity. I mean, does he come from a broken home? Was he homeless at some point? What's his story? I hope that will tie into something eventually within the series. We can go ahead and hope. I don't like Noah that much because, again, he's a smart guy, but I've never known anybody to answer a question with robots as the answer outside of screenwriting class. So that's a little confusing to me, just how he is. And it doesn't seem like he was saying it to have the right answer, but more to be different and to get acknowledged. And I didn't particularly care for that. And then there's Gia. Oh my goodness. So it seems what they're going to do with Gia is they're making her the perfect girl in a way. She's strong, she's intelligent, she's athletic, she's coordinated. She seems to have this precognition as well. So she's really kind of the Mary Sue of the series, it seems. And she just has this look in her eyes of this kind of, I'm better than you and I know it kind of look. And, it's just grating. I really hate it right now. And I really hope that she changes within the series to become less perfect. Because that's the problem I have. She is being played as this perfect character with this smug attitude. I don't know why Jake is interested in her anyway. I guess it goes to that unobtainable. If she is supposed to be personification of perfection, then he would be interested in her as opposed to somebody who is obtainable, I guess. I'm not quite sure how that works, but is that all the Rangers? Yeah, I don't care for these Rangers. They're not that interesting, at least upon first glance, and I do hope that they do something with them down the line, but as is, not a good first impression. What else to say? The villains are very cardboard cutouts. They're not interesting in their own right either. The plot's pretty straightforward. But let me just bring up a couple of points about the episode, just to give again my general thoughts. And I am on a time crunch, so I apologize for that. But that's my hope, is to get it done within 15 minutes. 15 minutes worth of thoughts about the Power Rangers, basically. But the plot, very boring. I love when Gosei is basically, I awaken in extreme threats, basically. If that's true, where were you? Because it seems he's been there for centuries. At least or a very long time. At least, let's say since 1993, when Zordon first started the Power Rangers. So he wasn't there during Countdown to Destruction. He wasn't there when the Master returned. He wasn't there any other point in Power Rangers history. Just now, when these aliens, insect aliens from space arrive, is when you awaken. I hope that's expanded upon, because I'd like a damn good reason as to why. Because at least with Zordon, he stayed when Rita returned, because Rita was his arch nemesis. And that makes sense. Why he arrives here, I don't know. Another thing about the plot that's a little confusing is Troy's dialogue. There must be some mistake. I'm new. So apparently, I'm new in town. Because if he's new in town, he can't be the Red Ranger. And again, why 5 teenagers from the same high school? Didn't make sense in Mighty Morphin, doesn't make sense now. Why were no past Rangers chosen? That's a good question as well. And just as a little side note here, as someone who's taken photography courses in college, I know a lot of people in photography. I don't care if the world is at stake. You are not going to throw your DSLR wildly into the air to hit one of the foot soldiers just to protect yourself. Because that really makes Emma look stupid to me, that she's just throwing her camera around. Those things are damn expensive. So, those are all my thoughts that I have right now. Again, I don't like it so far. Oh, the dream. Let me talk about the dream real quick. I know what they're doing. They're trying to tie it in to Super Mega Force, but the dream is completely out of context. It doesn't make any sense, and we see a lot of actual Sentai characters in the background, such as Ryu Ranger and Pink 5, so somebody wasn't working on their editing appropriately. Something wasn't done right. I'm not sure what that is. But again, they're tying something in that we won't see until fall of next year. So they set it up really, really early for us, and it's really not giving any context. The keys are there. I would like an explanation for those. Eventually, I know what they're going to do, but why are they there to begin with? So, just a few things. But that's all my thoughts I have on Mega Mission. I'll go ahead and watch the next episode. Keep blasting me with science. Once I get that done, I will give you guys my initial impressions within the 15-minute period. Just kind of give you overall what I think. If you guys like this new segment, let me know. Tell me how I can go ahead and improve it. And I look forward to posting more of these. And I hope you guys will indeed like it. So thank you. Have a good day. And I will see you for the next episode.